2 balls and a strike to count on Taylor. Reyes fires, swinging a drive, deep left field. It's his way back. Welcome on, Chris Taylor.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com, part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. My name is Jeff Spiegel, joined today by Matt Moreno. And Matt, interesting interview from Clayton Kershaw talking to Alana Rizzo on MLB Network. Covered a range of topics, the Padres. He talked about Julio Urias, Justin Turner's departure, the slow offseason. I'll let you start. What did you find most interesting about Kershaw's comments?
Well, first, I want to say thank you to MLB Network for letting Alana do that interview. I know she obviously, if you guys, I'm sure a lot of our followers and viewers have caught her on high heat since she's left the Dodgers. She does do a lot of the player interviews, but definitely with somebody like Kershaw, who at times can be a little guarded with some of his answers and interviews, like it makes sense to get him with somebody who he's very familiar with. So thank you to them for that. Honestly, I think the most interesting thing he said to me was about the Padres. And it was at the very end when he was discussing the Dodgers losing in the NLDS. And he basically summed it up by saying, you know, we're going to give this another run, and I hope we see them again in October. Yeah.
I mean, look, he was honest. He shared honestly about the Padres. This is going to be a very good team. The Dodgers are not naive to it. And, you know, he said, I think it's going to be a great rivalry. We're going to see them a lot. We can't wait to play them again. But I mean, for you, Matt, do you want to see the Padres again in the postseason?
Not right now, because I don't think the Dodgers roster is fully done or ready yet. But, you know, come October, I think hopefully they'll have a team that is has kind of filled in some of the holes that they still have at this time of our recording, obviously. And at that point, yeah, you know, why not? Like, you know, I embrace kind of competition and, you know, an opportunity to get some revenge, if you will. And so I think it would be entertaining. I think it would be good for the sport. Obviously, depending on the outcome, it may or not be good for the Dodgers, and we would be having a separate discussion. I would, you know, maybe be eating my words at that point.
Yeah, I mean, they lost to him last year, so it's almost like we've already been through it once. It's not like the Giants. I mean, the Giants would always be the worst team as far as from my perspective for them to face. I thought the other interesting topic that he touched on specifically was Justin Turner, and specifically saying, hey, every time I saw Justin Turner, I thought we had a chance to win. And it felt honest. It felt like, I mean, he even said, hey, I don't say this about a lot of guys. This is what I texted to Justin Turner. And so I think it plays to something you and I have talked about, which is Justin Turner being not necessarily just an on the field like loss for the Dodgers, but also an off the field, in the clubhouse type guy, that if Kershaw, one of the other team leaders, is kind of looking to Justin Turner for that sort of confidence, that feels like it could be a big deal.
Yeah, I think so. And that's why I said, you know, when we've discussed Turner in some of our other videos, I'm going to be really interested to see what the dynamics are of the clubhouse for 2023, because and like one thing that Kershaw said, you know, he mentioned Cody Bellinger going to the Cubs. He said, you know, in terms of position players, the Dodgers historically have had the same group over and over and over again for several years. And so now, you know, a lot of whether it was kind of one at a time with Corey Seager leaving, and now obviously Justin Turner, Cody Bellinger, like it feels a lot different, right? And so I think, like you said, you know, he was candid in discussing, you know, when in terms of the clubhouse, seeing him and seeing his presence. And I think that that's something that I'm going to be curious to see how it sort of feels and unfolds as next season kind of plays out.
Yeah. Last thing I want to touch on here, his comments about the slow offseason. And basically I would sum up his comments as saying, in Andrew Friedman, we trust. This has been my view all along. I know it may not go along with Jeff's plan, but if it's Jeff's plan or Andrew Friedman's plan, I would prefer Andrew Friedman's plan. And I'm sure, you know, I don't think the Dodgers put him up to this. Hey, go on national TV and tell people that you trust Andrew Friedman. But I mean, does it make you feel any better that Clayton Kershaw is saying, hey, just let the guy? Things have worked out all right for Andrew Friedman every single time.
I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt to hear a player from the organization say it. What I took from that comment was he must have watched our show and clearly heard you saying, hey, Andrew Friedman, we need to trust him because he does have a plan. And so that's what I think. That's where I think maybe he might have gotten that viewpoint from, potentially. So he's right. And I do agree with you. As much as I have, you know, kind of raised some concerns and questions with how the Dodgers have operated this offseason, I do agree that 9 times out of 10, probably 9.5 times out of 10, Friedman does have some sort of plan. And whether it's a plan that fans agree with or want, like, that's a different story, obviously. But I know you and I are sort of in agreement of, you know, we wouldn't be fully surprised if there's some trade down the line, between now and spring training.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I mean, obviously, I imagine Friedman had to. I mean, I don't know. Kershaw, like, I'm sure there are some conversations just like, hey, what's the plan? I'm coming back for one more year. Like, Bellinger's gone, Turner's gone. That's what's going on in my head. And yet, I feel like Kershaw's not that type of guy. I feel like Kershaw's coming back to the Dodgers and just saying, look, I trust Andrew Friedman. I'm coming back. I'm staying away from my family, which we know is a big deal to him. And so it almost feels like Kershaw just has inherent trust. It's not just lip service, I guess is what I'm saying. He is living it out with his life that he trusts Andrew Friedman. That, hey, if Justin Turner walks, if Cody Bellinger walks, I'm still here, and I trust you to figure this thing out.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. And he even said, when he was asked about the Dodgers offseason, he kind of not made a joke, but started his answer by saying, there's the GM hat, there's the fan hat. And he said, for me, I put on the player hat. And he acknowledged that, of course, his preference would be for Andrew Friedman to go out and get every good player that's available. But he said that's not always going to happen, obviously. And then he went into kind of his longer explanation of saying, look, like, he's earned trust in the past, and like this just needs to kind of give him time and see where things will go. And I do agree with you. Kershaw's not the type to kind of get up there and say something to say something. I mean, he wears his emotions on his sleeves, and I think he's honest with people. And especially, like, again, especially with somebody like Alon in this kind of interview, I was watching it, like, it didn't come across as, the Dodgers put up this teleprompter and said, please go, give us some positive PR for this offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, if Kershaw trusts Andrew Friedman, that's good enough for me. So that's Matt Moreno. My name's Jeff Spiegel. Matt, do we have, if you look at Matt's Twitter account, I know we've sort of got tweeted out highlights. Do you know if there's anywhere people can find the actual interview, maybe in the MLB Network somewhere?
I haven't seen it. The only clip MLB Network tweeted out was his answers about Justin Turner. But I mean, look, we do have that one article up on DodgerBlue.com right now, and we're going to have more coming. So if you want to read kind of the full quotes, we'll definitely have that for everybody.
Awesome. And also a Noah Syndergaard interview is up on our YouTube page, which he talks about possibly throwing 100 miles an hour again. So that one wouldn't hurt to listen to. So as always, make sure you subscribe, ring the notification bell right here, Dodger Blue 1958 on YouTube. You can follow Matt for content like this. He's sort of was live tweeting the interview, if you will, which is super helpful for those of us that weren't watching MLB Network at the time, and apparently they don't have the video up. So that's Matt. My name's Jeff. As always, thanks for joining us, and of course, go Dodgers.